and I picked up the phone to dial her. At the same precise moment, she thought about me and picked up her phone to dial me. Now, neither one of us heard the phone ring. We're sitting there, and my phone didn't ring, and her phone didn't ring. And after a couple of minutes, it was like, hello? She was like, hello? And I'm like, I didn't hear the phone ring. She was like, I didn't hear the phone ring either. I was like, well, I was just calling you. She was like, I was just calling you. And it was like, damn. All we could do was go, wow, that's scary. That is really scary. Or it would be if you didn't understand how energy works and how a thought is an energy that goes out and makes things happen. Now, if you want to get someone to think about you quickly, you, especially if the moon is full or in any way showing any kind of light, and even if it's not, you bounce your thought from you to the moon, and it'll hit the moon and use the moon as a mirror. You bounce your thought from you to the moon, and the moon will go from, your thought will go from you to the moon. It'll hit the moon and bounce down to the person you're thinking about. That's why sometimes when you're thinking about people and you're talking about people, it could be someone you haven't seen in years. All of a sudden you'll trip over them somewhere. Or they'll call you out of the blue. Or you'll call them out of the blue and they'll go, damn, we were just talking about you. That is not spookism. That's energy and how energy works. Thoughts are energy that affect all of the protons, neutrons, electrons, photons, quarks, and space around you. And if you comprehend how these thought vibrations, if you channel them and focus them appropriately, how they will hover about either over you, and if it's a hostile thought, that's why people shouldn't harbor these hostile, hateful thoughts about people. Because if it's a hostile thought, if it doesn't get to the person you're focusing on, or they're spiritually protected, it can hit them and bounce back to your ass because you're the sender. A lot of this hostility returns itself to the sender, and it will hover over you until you get into a space, and then it'll wind up kicking your ass as what you think is bad luck or something. Now, generally, I don't ask questions about this, and I'm not sure if I should. Do I even want to take any questions? Because you know what? People have a tendency to come, I'm talking about one thing. People come at me with some whole other stuff, questions that are totally not related to at all what I'm talking about. So, you know what? I'm going to bypass that. I'm not going to ask. Let me look and see what time it is here. Oh, we're doing good. I don't think I want to ask any questions at this point in time because I don't want to get taken off on some irrelevant tangent that I know people have a tendency to do. But I'm trying to say this. These thought fields of energy hover about, and they are either going to relax or react on the individual that created the thought form, because a thought is a thing that creates and manifests things. A thought is a thing that causes things to happen, which is what I'm saying when I say, if I can get enough people awake and aware and demystified and unspooked about spirituality and energy, because that's all it is knowing the science of energy. If I can get you guys out of the spookism about it and the scariness about it, and please don't get to calling on these demons that you call gods, lords, Jesuses, and these kind of people that are really demon forces. But, I want to insult a lot of Christians. If you haven't listened to my show, you're going to be insulted. If you haven't caught up, then you're going to be lost on what it is I'm trying to say to you. But understand that as the creator of the thought, when you relax and get in a passive state, the energy, if it does not land on the person you sent it to, will come back to you and land on you. If it does not, it will just hover about out there until it's discharged on you or the recipient that you intended for. So it's very important and very significant that you get to a point where you control the thoughts and the inner dialogue and chatter that goes on inside of your skull every day. Because this inner dialogue will go out and cause things to happen. For example, if you say something like, man, I need some money, man, I need some money. Really? How much money? I don't know. I just need some more money. You step outside, you step on a penny. That's 1 penny more of what you call money than you had when you walked out the door. And you invoked it. You asked for it. You asked for more money. You didn't specify how much, and you stepped outside and you stepped on a penny. And 90% of the time, the penny is down there for you to pick up because you asked for it, and you will step over it and go, oh, that's just a penny. And you know what you do to the cosmic forces? Go, oh, you're ungrateful. You're asking for stuff, and you don't even take what I'm giving you. So it's like, why should I give you anything else? It's better to just pick the penny up if you're saying you want more money and go, thank you, this is great, I appreciate it, but I'm in a whole lot more than this. I require way more money than I currently have. I require way more spending power than I currently have, as opposed to saying, man, I ain't got no money, I'm broke, man, I can't go, I'm broke, I ain't got no money. Those are the wrong dialogues, and a lot of people that are melanin rich, that's the type of dialogue that they give themselves all the time. I'm broke, I'm poor, I ain't got no money, as opposed to saying, geez, I need some more money, I require way more money than I currently have. Change the dialogue. You can say the same things, but is the glass half empty or is it half full? Same amount of milk or water or juice or whatever the case may be in the glass, but some people look at the glass and go, damn, this glass is half empty. And other people go, wow, this glass is only half full. So it's all in how you perceive it and how you put it out there that determines the results that you get back. That's for people that are auditory. That's their inner vocal dialogue. If you're visual and you're looking at things visually, then you need to clean up your visual images of yourself. If you're visual and you look in the mirror and all you can say, Jesus, what a fat slob. Oh my God, I look so ugly today. Oh, my hair. Well, then you're going to create that image and you're going to start looking that way to everybody around you because you're putting that out there. As opposed to looking in the mirror going, I look better if I did my hair like this. It's better to say, I look a whole lot better if I did this. Instead of saying, oh my God, I look horrible. If, in fact, you're visual and the thing you want is something like a car, this list I'm talking about that I had my sister do is not really going to help you. It will help you get clarity on what it is you want, but it will not manifest things for you as much as the list that I have people write is for people that are visual and kinesthetic, or people that have to kind of do something and they need to see it. Some people need to see it. That's the list. Some people have to do it. That's the writing of the list. Some people have to feel it, and that is going to be where pictures are going to come in for people that have to see it and feel it. So an individual that wants a particular guy, and please never make this about any individual. Go, man, I want old boys woman. I like her man. He is fine. I want that dude for myself. No. You are not to put out energy ever to take someone else's anything. Because what looks to you like the great guy out in public may not be. The guy that looks to you like the greatest guy in the world, that's your friend's man, might be a guy that ain't all he appears to be. On the surface, he may look great, but he may be beating his woman every day. He may be molesting his children every night. So do not put out requests for specific individuals. You put out your request for the type of individual you like. It may be good to say, I'd love to have a man like that or a man that looks like that, but don't go, I want that man right there if he's with someone else. And even if he's not with someone else, you don't go, I want that man right there. Because once you get that fool, you might be, oh, my God, this is not the dude I wanted. But you got what you asked for. And now you got a guy that's going in your purse stealing money because he looked like that and all that in a bag of chips and he was fine, but you didn't know he was a crackhead. Or whatever the case may be, because you're asking for a particular individual. Do not ever do that. You can use that as a model and go, I'd love to have a man that looks like that. Oh, my God, I love his muscles. I love his biceps. I love his abdomen. I love his dark complexion. I love his light complexion. I love his hair. Whatever it is, you can use that as a model, but never use the individual as your target, because people are not always what they appear to be, and they're not always what you think they are. Now, these individuals that I'm talking about that are more needing to see something, instead of writing a list, you can take old magazines and whatever of the car you want, and you can cut that out and paste that out and put it on a cardboard, and you can put a little picture of your head inside the window driving the car. Or you can cut out the biceps of the guy that you want and the abdomen of the guy that you want with the complexion that you want, and build this guy and, create a circle for the head, but leave that blank. And just wait for this to come forward. And when you get where you are masterful enough at this, you will always get exactly what you put out there. That's why I say do not ever ask for a specific individual, and avoid asking for money. And the reason I say avoid asking for money is because when you put out requests for money, or what you think is money, or Federal Reserve notes of any specific denomination, you may get, let's say you want $1,000 because you're trying to buy something. Let's say you want to buy a particular type of computer. And it's like, man, I'd love to have a such and such a computer or whatever, and it costs $1,000. I need to come up with $1,000 so I can get this computer. You have the wrong idea and the wrong concept. You don't put out a request for the $1,000 to get the computer. You put out an image request for the computer itself and let the computer get to you however it's going to get to you. Someone else may give it to you as a gift for your birthday or your Earth Day or what you call Christmas, or just because, I looked at this and I don't know why, but for some reason when I saw this I thought of you. And I want you to have it. You'd be surprised at where your request will come from when you get specific about what you want. If you start saying, I need $1,000 so I can buy a computer, it's not the $1,000 you really want. It's the computer that you really want. So you figure out exactly, well, I want the computer to have this, it needs to have this, it needs to have this, it needs to have this. And let it get to you however it's going to get to you. Because as much as you have to struggle to get the $1,000, someone else may not have to struggle as much to get the $1,000 and may just look at it and go, I don't know why, but something in, prime example, I bought a Janome 9000. And I had looked around. It's like, okay, I looked at the Viking. Now, a Janome 9000 is a sewing machine for people that don't know. It's like, what the hell is a Janome 9000? It's a sewing machine. And it's a quilting type sewing machine. And it was between the Janome 9000, and it was so many years ago, I can't even remember what the Viking was. It was a Janome or a Viking that I was going to get. And the Janome 9000 at the time, I think it was going for $5,000. And I wanted one. I'm like, I have got to have one of those. Now, I didn't sit up and say, I need to figure out how to come up with $5,000 so I can get this Janome 9000. I said, I am going to have a Janome 9000, and I'm going to get it without having to come up with $5,000 to do it. I don't know how, but I'm going to get this thing some kind of way. Now, at the time, the Janome 9000 was the latest model out the door. Now, what I put out there was, I want a Janome 9000, I want it by such and such a date, and that's it and that's all. So I got on the phone and I started calling sewing machine stores that do sewing machines and vacuum cleaners. And I started asking, do you guys have any Janome 9000 sewing machines that someone has put in the shop for repair and maybe they didn't pick it up and you just want to sell it for the cost of your labor into it? And it was like, I called several stores and it was like, no, we have a so-and-so and we have a so-and-so. I was like, no, I want a Janome 9000. But thank you. And I got on the phone and I called all over Southern California. And finally, I found a store, and I called, and it was a store in Pasadena, and I talked to the sister, and she was in business with a European male. They were business partners. She had a husband, and he had a wife, but these two were business partners. And something about me over the phone when I was asking, and I don't think I asked about the Janome 9000 in particular. I said to her, because I was getting basically shot down, oh, it's not going to happen. You're not going to get a Janome 9000. No, that's the latest model out the door. That's not going to happen. So I called and said, do you guys have any Janome sewing machines that are embroidery machines that someone put into the shop to have repaired and they didn't pick it up or something? Because I'd like to know if I can purchase one. And She